Hello, everybody. Welcome to Friday Features for October 30th. I'm very excited, as always, to be here because I like talking about games. And I hope that a couple people will join me in the chat today so I have someone to chat with. But otherwise, I hope you're watching this video later on YouTube. The games are going to be on sale for the following week. So you got until sometime in November. I think it's like November 4th, 5th, next Thursday. And today I'm going to be talking about two-player games, but before I get started, I promised a few people online that I would have a Halloween costume, and they're probably wondering if I went as Blue Highway Games employee, but no, it's even better. I went and changed my last name to Lorian, so I am in fact Amanda Lorian. Okay, well, I'll have my new friend help me out later when I want to play a two-player game of Aqualine. It was a busy few days of me and my friend here, Baby Yoda, playing some of these two-player games to learn them for the stream. And it also, today is the day that it comes back on TV, and I have not yet watched the next episode, so I'm very excited. But first, two-player games. People are stuck at home. They might have only a couple people to play games with, and two-player have been very popular in stores. So I've got a few of the more unusual ones that you might not know about. And if you don't know about any, these are still good places to start. Some are on the easier end, and some are on the more complex end. That would make for a more intense, full game night experience. So let's get started. I'm going to start with a little card game called Fox in the Forest Duet. I don't know if you have played The Fox in the Forest, but that was the original game here from Renegade that came as a very unique two-player trick-taking game, but competitive. So still trying to go for one winner. And then they decided, well, it was unusual enough to have a trick-taking game, which is usually for a lot of people, with just two, and they made it a two-player trick-taking cooperative game. So you're actually working together as a pair, so you're not competing against each other to try to win. I will not go through and explain the whole mechanics of trick-taking games, but if you're not super familiar with them, ultimately there's usually cards that are played out onto the table by all the players, in this case two. Oh, these are really pastel, so they're hard to see, but and then whoever plays the higher card would win the trick, which is to take the cards into their pool or their crib or their kitty or whatever, and score some points. Now, in this cooperative game, you are actually going to be sort of playing a tug-of-war across this board. So there's a marker that starts in the center, and you're also going to be sitting on opposite sides of the player board, and whoever wins the tricks is going to slide the piece mirror, I can't do this, I can never do this, around forget it, around, woo, no, to their side, but you never want it to go off the board. You're kind of wanting to move along to these spaces, picking up these gems that are going to be placed on the board along the way. So like trick-taking games, you're going to have a hand of cards, you're going to take turns, someone's going to lead, they're going to play down a card that's going to have a certain suit, be it roses, doves, or stars, and then the other player has to play something in a similar suit. There's also a decree card that's out in the center of the table that has a specific suit on it, and that is a trump card, which means it would overpower the regular suit. And so players are playing down their cards, determining who wins, moving the markers in the direction of the player that won, and picking up gems along the way. But you're going to skip over some gems. Some spaces have more than one gem, and the goal of the game is to clear all of the gems from the board before you go off into the forest too many times and get lost in the forest, or I thought there was another way to have sudden end to the game, but I am blanking. But you're playing 3 rounds. You're going to shuffle up the cards and deal out each time, so you have 3 chances. There's ways to score points, so it's not just to survive and clear all the gems and win, but if you have done it in the second round, you're going to get so many extra bonus points. And for all the cards that you still have left in your hand before you clear out all the gems, you're going to get extra points. And so the idea is to record your score between you and the other player over several different games and see if you can continually beat your score going forward. So that is Fox in the Forest Duet, which is a cooperative two-player trick-taking game based off of the Fox in the Forest, the competitive two-player trick-taking game, which I thought was revolutionary. as is. Oh, you may have noticed this one had a action on it. Some of the cards allow you to change the outcomes of what happens. So when the cards are played, you have to also assess if maybe you win the trick, but you get to move the token whichever direction you choose, which could be good to save yourself from going off into the forest, things like that. So this is $14.95, super affordable little game. It does fit into most pockets, and I'm a big fan. Alright, so then the next one I have is also a duet. This time also from a game you may be familiar with, but instead Codenames Duet. So I'm sure by now a lot of people have played Codenames. It's been incredibly popular, probably for the last, I want to say like 4 or 5 years now. And this is the 2-player version. I played the regular as a 2-player and there's rules, but it's sort of just like an exercise. So they wanted to come up with a way to make it instead more challenging and to actually give kind of missions and goals for the players playing, and not just have one player be the clue giver and one person be the guesser. In this version, they actually have the... So if you're not familiar with Codenames, you're setting up a grid of words. Then there's 2 teams, and 2 people on each team are going to see a grid pattern that tells them which cards need to be guessed for which team, as well as some really bad assassin cards that would blow up and ruin the whole game. And then the rest of the teams are just taking turns guessing based on the clues that the people are giving. So in this game, instead of just having it a one-sided clue card that you see and your opponent guesses, it's actually double-sided, and it's not the same on either side. So this is going to go in between the 2 players, and you're actually going to take turns giving clues to guess off of the same word cards that are in the center of the table. But some of the ones that I can see as assassins on my side are actually ones that you need to guess on your side, which is funny because I can see the back of the card here, so I'm confused. But so like this one is an assassin on this side, but on my card it's a neutral one. So it can be tricky as you're trying to give clues. You're like, well, I don't want them to guess that one, but then when they give me a clue, I'm like, well, I have to guess that one, but my brain is thinking it's an assassin, but it's not, because it's not the same. So you're going to be going back and forth trying to give out clues. Now, what are the word cards? They're different things. They're all over the place, like troll and dash and walrus. So if I had those cards out there and I had troll, dash, and walrus, and I was trying to think of some things, I would have to come up with a 1-word clue and some numbers that would get you to maybe guess those. So I'd be trying to think of connections between those. And maybe troll and walruses both appear in the Arctic. Trolls are from Norway. That's very Arctic. So I might say 2, Arctic, and hope that you'll guess trolls and walrus, thinking, of course, of Norwegian trolls. And not Fremont trolls, but you would think of both of those things as the fellow player, and when you're like, okay, Arctic 2, I'm going to point at walrus, that seems clear, I'd put out one of these good capture cards. They're not different colors because you're not on opposite teams, they're green for both, and it covers it up. But you're thinking, well, that might be a clue that the other person hasn't given yet, or a neutral one on their side. Doesn't matter. It's now a safe space. There'll be no more clues. I can't incorrectly guess it. Maybe it was an assassin on their side, and I've just covered it up, and they're relieved because they don't have to give clues to cover up that particular card anymore, because it has one of these safe covers on it. I can figure this out. Okay. So that is Codenames Duet, and it has a timer mechanism. So at the end of each round, if you bust or get one of the neutral ones, and you're going to put out these little tokens, you can't really see it, but there's a little arrow in the top there that kind of reminds you who gave the clue that was incorrectly guessing for this, so I can remember I still need to guess it, possibly for my my co-player. And once these run out, if you haven't successfully covered up all the appropriate ones on both sides, I think it's all 15, I think 3 are shared by both teams, then you lose the game. But if you're successful at doing that and covering all your board and giving clues, and you find you're thinking really closely with your fellow player, you can also start to spice it up with this cool little intrigue spy map, which has different challenges and different sets and boundaries for how you set up the game, and how many clues you're allowed to give, or how many mistakes you're allowed to make. And the idea is that you would start out in one city, and as you play games, you're trying to work your way around the world of espionage to the different cities. and give yourself challenges as two players. I've read there's also a way to play with multiple teams. I haven't tried it yet. I imagine it's just kind of a team exercise, but for these times, it's a great way to play Codenames as a two-player. And this retails at $19.95, and again is in shop and will be on sale all week long. All right, next game. Moving on. Unless anyone has questions about Codenames Duet, I'm going to move on into one of the more complex, not overly complex, but a little bit more challenging. It's a game called Targi. And this is one that's been out for probably 5 or 6 years now. And a couple of my coworkers, it's been their favorite game of all time. Not just two-player, but like awesome game. And I do agree with that sentiment. I actually own this one myself. It's part of my collection, and I have a lot of fun with it because it's a little bit meatier. There's a little more to it going on for a two-player, but it's not a full evening. It's still going to play within about an hour. And I can only ever set up one game to show you, and I've saved that for the new one. So I won't set the whole thing up, but you've got a bunch of cards that are going to create a border, and then you're going to fill that border with various goods and tribe cards. Different things will be on them, and then the way the game functions is you have these little pieces, meeples, and you're going to place them on different border cards around the board. There's 3 of them. You're going to take turns, you and your opponent, placing them, and then you're going to draw an imaginary line between the 2 places that intersect, and where they do, you're going to be able to place your... I don't have a blue one. I have white. So the white player placing, I wish I'd looked up the names of these so you get the real names, but on those cards in the center. And then on my turn, I'm going to be able to take the cards that are the abilities of the cards where my little meeples are standing, as well as my little token in the center, and I'm going to get resources, victory points, cards that are going to go in front of me in a little grid that kind of give me ongoing benefits or immediate benefits or maybe end game scoring benefits. There's also little symbols in them in the corner, and if I can get like the same ones in a row or different ones in a row, I'm going to get points at the end of the game. So how I play them down, and as I collect them from the center, will change how it's played. So it's got these cards, but you're not like holding a hand of cards. You're sort of placing pieces out on a board that is created by cards, and then you're also going to be collecting cardboard chips, just like you would in an ordinary board game. So it's sort of a cross between a board game and a card game, but it has a lot of depth to it. There's a lot of things to think about when placing and how you're collecting and spending your resources and using those cards, those special cards that you've accumulated. The resources will pay for those cards, and that's how you get them through the game. And then once somebody has a full set of those tribe cards, it goes into kind of final phase and you finish off. So it has a lot of replayability, and if that isn't enough, we are also going to put the expansion, Targi expansion, which adds new resource, water, as well as new cards, and the Targia, which I think is it's a little figure that sits on the outside of the board. Oh, I didn't mention in Targi there's a little robber that moves around. It's kind of a timing mechanism, but also blocks spaces. This one has another one that moves in the other direction, doesn't block spaces, and actually to go in the same space will reap a benefit for you, allow you to get some goods and things like that. So it adds even more depth to the base game. And this was out in German for a couple years without being in English. When we finally got it in English within the last year or so, and we'll have it in shop as well. So we're going to put both of those on sale for this week. They both are individually $19.95, which is a crazy good price, I think, for all the game that you get in those in that package. And that is Targi. So the last one I have before the one I have to show you on display is one that came out probably last year now. Time is all just blending together and I have no idea. But Foothills. And this is a little more advanced two-player. It's still not overly long, overly complicated. So it's actually shorter than Targi, but it's got a lot more moving bits and pieces and took a little bit more to set up and figure out all the rules to it. So it's not just a quick lunchtime game. It's more of a, hey, after dinner, let's play a game. Let's play Foothills. If you've played Snowdonia, that is a game sort of set in the same world, the Welsh mining and railroad, I think it's coal mining, but or ore mining, actually, and stone. in the hills of Wales. But this is sort of a two-player version of that. I've played actually this before I ended up playing Snowdonia because I liked this two-player version, and I was like, oh, so there's a bigger board game. Tell me more. But every player is going to have a player board, and they're going to have a set of player cards and pieces, and there are two sides to all your cards, front and back. For both the players, the front side is the same, but the back is different. And so when you're choosing blue or green, you're sort of setting yourself up for one or the other style of play. There's going to be a whole bunch of other cards laid out in the center table which represent railroad lines, which is similarities to that base game. And on each of those railroad lines, there's going to be little rubble cubes placed on all the railroad tracks. So the idea of the game is you have to clear the rubble from the mountains, the rocks, and then you have to lay down train tracks, which will go out on those cards. And this is a green railroad track because the bottom is green. The blue player has blue on theirs. And then you're also going to build, sorry, was that a station? They're double-sided. So that's a railroad track. And that's a station. And you're going to build the railroad tracks. You're going to place stations, which allow your station master and to move and do different actions that are written onto those cards. Some examples here. So this would have had a little bit of rubble on it. That allows you to build some stations, and that has an action for the station master. So each of the cards and each of the railroad lines have several different functions, different ways to earn points, and you're doing those actions by choosing to play the cards that are in front of you. The cards in front of you are going to stay, and when you use them, you're going to flip them, which activates then the action on the back. So there may be reasons why you can't do something because you've already flipped it and you've already used it, so you have to figure out how you can then use that action so you can flip the card back to continue using the action on the other side, unless I'm getting myself terribly confused, but it's been a few weeks since I played. But, and then in clearing the rubble and building the railroad tracks and building the stations, you're going to be collecting points. And there are cubes of ore and stone that are going to get put out on kind of a little supply board that you can choose from. There's the Navy with two V's, and there's N-A-V-V-Y. I really am not going to pronounce any of the Welsh names on any of these, like Porthmadog. No, oh, I said I wasn't going to, and then I did, embarrassing myself. But these tokens are going to go out kind of like a third player that's going to start developing things if you're taking too long. So even if your opponent might not be working on something, you never know if an action is going to trigger that third neutral player to come and kind of take some of the actions and points away. It also has these fabulous little tickets from the rail lines that you need to collect in order to perform some of the actions. It'll say, well, you have to have 2 tickets and functions to go on those rail lines. So it's got a lot more going on. It definitely feels similar to that big base game Snowdonia, but it is its own thing. Just kind of thematically clearing the rubble and the building of stations and railway lines is similar. And this is the biggest one I have to bring for you today for 2 players, and that is Foothills, and it retails at $39.99. Again, going to be on sale all this week. All right, so the last one I have for you, I'm very excited, and my new friend is going to help me play it over here for you as the second player. So this is Aqualine, and this is kind of maybe not the easiest, but it is the most classic abstract type game. Really straightforward. I know you're seeing colors and shapes. They're undersea creatures. I got a lot of vibes at first from Quirkle, which is one of my favorite kind of tile-laying games, been out for years. This one is these wonderful little Bakelite tiles. I don't know if they're Bakelite plastic, but they feel great, very tactile. And the board starts out empty, and there are 6 tiles that you can choose from on the side, and your turn consists of 3 actions. You are first going to move you're allowed to move one of the pieces that's already on the board. Of course, here at the start of the game, there's nothing to move, but when you do decide to move it, you can move it as far as you can in its row and column, your choice, until you hit either the edge of the board or one of your opponent's pieces. So they can be moved. So at the start of your turn, you decide if you want to move any one piece. Then you pick one of the pieces from the edge and you decide where you want to put it anywhere on the board. And then you fill this supply of 6 tiles. Now, you and your opponent, before you start the game, are going to decide if you want to play by, if you're going to be the color or you're going to be the shape person. And the object will be different for each of you. So if you're the color person, you want to get like colors of tiles in groups together. So once this board is full, you're going to score points if there are 2 or more, count as a group, going to add up for points. So if you see here in the rule book, if you have a group of red that is as big as 2, you would get 1 point. And since I think there's 5, maybe 6 of each of the different creatures, you could get maybe 2 different groups of 2 and score a total of, oh, you got 6, there's 6. You can score, I guess, 3 times sets of 2, and you get a total of 3 points for those reds. But if you're the color, you're going to score not just for red, but you're going to score for all the different colors: yellow, purple, blue, green, pink, red. And the other player, their goal is not to connect any of the colors, but instead to collect like shapes. And so they would want all the starfish to be there, or as many starfish as they can. The numbering system is the same, so if there was 2 starfish connected beside each other at the end of the game, you get a point for those 2 starfish. If you could get all the starfish to be in one like group at the end of the game, you'd get 15 points. So since I have talked incredibly quickly, let's just play through a round of Aqualine here with my new friend, Baby Yoda. And we'll do it really fast so you can kind of see how this plays out. So it'll be my turn. And to start the game, I can't move anything, so I just have to place out a new piece. I'm going to place a turtle. I'm going to place it here, and then I'm going to refill from the board. And then my new friend's going to come along, and I'm going to play colors, and my opponent is going to play the shapes. So they're going to say, okay, they want this little purple starfish, and they're going to put it here. Because it could go anywhere on the board. It can, but it does not have to touch any of the other pieces. And then we're going to add a new tile out into the board. Go easy on him. He's like 190 years old. He needs to go easy on me. Thanks, chat, for your vote of confidence in how good of a player I am. Clearly you haven't watched me play games very often. So I have played a green tile out, and Baby Yoda has played a purple starfish. So there's no other green. I chose probably very poorly if I'm going to be playing for color. I certainly don't. I'm going to put this turtle way over here. Oh, I can move a tile. Nah, I don't want to move anything. I believe it is May. May move a sea creature, so I do not have to. So I'm going to put the turtle way far away from the other turtle. And then I'm just going to refill the board. So then my opponent is going to come over here and very obviously going to pick this little red one there. Yeah, that's good. Good choice. Oh, surprising nobody. You want it to go here. Oh, before your turn. Sorry, he whispering he wanted to move the turtle over here. Seems wise. All right, and then he's going to refill the board. So I'm now looking at all these 4 different colors that are out on the board and thinking, well, that's silly. I'm just going to move this one way over here. And I'm going to then add a green here. Go on this side because I want to block it from moving. This board's really spinny. And I'm going to refill. So then what do we think? I think perhaps we're going to move the blue turtle. No, because it goes all the way to the end. So I'm going to move this one here. And I'm not. My opponent is. And then we're going to add, of course, this other, the starfish to the board in a very obvious location that I should probably be moving, but apparently I'm going easy on my opponent, so I'm not going to move it. Oh my goodness! Alright, well, I should have shuffled these tiles better. I'm going to go ahead and place out a, do I want to move anything? Seems like I don't know if I haven't played this enough to know, but I guess I can move it. It hasn't been blocked, so it's still open. We can start having a turtle chase around the board. I need colors on the board. Oh, I should have moved the green. Oh, like I said, you didn't know how saying go easy on him was just because I'm not very good at play games. All right, so I'm gonna add this Shoot, anywhere I put that is gonna help. This is terrible. So we're gonna put purple. I want purples together. That seems nice. That seems good. All right, well, yes, obviously we're gonna put out, yeah. So that, you wanna move anything first? No? Yes, yes, of course you do. You wanna move that there. And then you're gonna add this out here, and then it's gonna be my turn. So I'm going to move this green one up here. I guess I can do that. I don't think it says I can't go back and forth, so it hasn't been blocked yet. And then I am going to add another purple tile, maybe here. I'm gonna put that here. Refill. So now there's no stars out there for you, Baby Yoda. So where are you gonna go? I think you see an opportunity for some jellyfish. So why don't we go ahead? Oh yeah, pink, because it's not a color that I need. So, oh, did you want to move first? Always move first. Yeah, before you block it. This board is really slidey. And then we're gonna place that there. We're gonna fill this here. Alrighty, I gotta play faster. All right, so my choices are to try to add maybe some pink. I don't want that starfish to be able to be moved up, so I'm gonna put it here. Hopefully that's enough of a block. I don't want to move anything. Nope. Oh, I'll move that here before my turn. Then I put out the pink star. Then I refill here, and then it goes to Baby Yoda, who is definitely very excited now because the turtles are now near each other. So we're gonna go ahead and slide that up, and then we're gonna add a what are we gonna add? I guess a crab. Look at that, crab there together, and then refill. I am looking here, going very excitedly. I'm gonna move this green over here, and then I'm going to add another green here. All right, and now do you have anything you want to move? Doesn't look like it. Don't think that pink starfish. Well, maybe I'll just move it out. You're mad at me for putting those together, and then you're gonna place out another. Oh yeah, that crap, of course. And it also blocks that pink from move. Oh, no, you don't want to block yourself. Well, of course you don't. So you know here, so I can't go back. That seems wiser. Wow, this is. I love playing strategy games with myself. I mean, with two people. So then we're going to have a look here. Do I want to move anything? I'm looking for colors. I'm going to move this turtle over. And then I don't have any green that I can add out on the board, but maybe I can add ooh, that's a turtle. Don't put that there. A jellyfish. Doesn't really help me, but it blocks that turtle from moving. Well, again, I love thinking through double things. So now, of course, oh yeah, yeah, definitely. Okay, I'll help you. Your fingers aren't very dexterous there, so I'll have to move that back over. Of course, you're keeping your turtles together, and then, oh, look at that, how nice for you. You're gonna add another turtle. Yeah, I'm so shocked. So then for me, I'm very excited about your yellow. I want to keep, no, then well, whatever. We're just gonna do that. That's what I did. It's done, you can't undo it. And now you're looking, okay, so I guess we've decided it appears that you can just kind of move it back, so it's gonna go back there. And yeah, oh, shocking, no one. You're gonna put it here to block me from making those yellows come back as a group. Of course you are. So then the board is filling up. I'm not doing that terribly with getting some colors together, and looks like, oh yeah, you got lots of turtles going on over there. Okay. We don't have any seahorses out. I don't care. I want colors, so maybe some pink there again. Yeah, I don't want to move anything, so I'm just going to add that. And then, do you want to move anything? Oh, a turtle. I'm lucky for you. Maybe not move anything, but yeah. So we're going to add that turtle right here, because you don't want to put it next to my purple, obviously. Although I'm very excited because on my turn I'm just going to slide that over. Although it keeps it as part of your turtle group and it's part of my turtle group. That will count for both players during scoring at the end of the game. And yeah. And then I've refilled. So then that. Oh no, I haven't. I haven't taken. I just slid that over. I've got to add one for me. I'm going to add pink to this group over here. And then it is my opponent's turn, and you want to slide anything? It's starting to fill up, get a little bit harder. I don't think so. And you're gonna, oh yeah, take a little red one here, put that near the pink. I'm not sure how this plays with colorblind players. I don't know how different these colors are. Of course, a lot of games that are dependent on color do have some tricky. I feel like that red is different from the pink, but maybe not different from the others. It's quite dark. Anyway. I'm gonna flip over tile. That was your turn, right? So now it's my turn, and I'm going to slide this turtle down. I don't know why I didn't see that earlier. Look at that. Joins my pink. I'm not going easy. I'm going hard. And so we're gonna have a group of 4 pink. Hopefully, I'm gonna add this crab over here. I think that is great. Okay, and so on and so forth. Let's see if I can dump some of these down here. I know people are probably like, please stop playing, but we're doing it. We're finishing it. So it's gonna go out here. No, you're not playing colors. That's me. You want jellyfish together. There we go. And then I'm gonna move nothing. So I'm gonna look, and I'm just gonna place a green tile here. On your turn, you're like, no, please move this one. Okay, put it near your crabs. That seems good. And then, yeah, you're gonna add a seahorse. There we go. And green and blue, those might be similar colors too. I can't quite tell. We're getting close to the end here. The board is filling up fast. I am not gonna move anything, but I am gonna add this yellow here. And anything you'd like to move? I don't think so. Maybe I'll slide this. Oh no, I'll slide that back. So no, you'll keep it there. Yep. I don't see any reason why to slide it here. We'll go up here and join back in with my greens. So yeah. Okay. Well, turtles. I'm gonna add that last turtle over here. Nothing's gonna be able to be moved around there very shortly. It kind of gets harder and harder. I'm gonna slide this over. And then I'm gonna put this purple here. Maybe it's Yoda's turn. He's gonna, oh, tricky. Maybe you just want to slide that up. So I don't have 6 purples in a row. Don't have maybe another fish there for you. I'm gonna slide this up. Very sad about those crabs. And then I'm going to add a red here. Maybe I can get a bigger group of red going on. That's the last tile. We don't have enough tiles. I guess I didn't have enough tiles last time to draw from. And yeah, no, you're like, that's not gonna happen. And you're also going to come along and place this fish here. Which doesn't stop me from sliding it back again. See, you weren't very clever. And I'm going to then add another red one here. You're gonna come along and be annoying, yeah, sure, and then you're gonna put a seahorse next to a seahorse, because that makes sense. I'm gonna put a blue next to blue, and you're gonna put blue. So this would be the end game. And then you're going to want to separately add up for the colors and the symbols. So it would be a matter of going through all the colors. So these 2 red don't count. This red for me would count as 4, so I would get 6 points, and another 6 points there for the blues and the purples. I'm sitting on, well, that's 12, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. For the pinks is a nice 10 points, so 22 plus 4 for those yellows is 26. And you can all see me do math very quickly on this screen, which is my favorite thing to do. So I think I'm at 26 points. I have a lot of singles. I don't see a lot of other little double groups. No. So then for the animals, we're going to be looking at, we've got, well, you got 5 turtles there. Congratulations. Where's the 6th turtle? Oh, down here. So you've got 10 points for the turtles, and you've got 3 points, that's 13 points, and then we've got another, so 16 points, plus 17 points, plus another 3, so that's 20 points, and I don't see if I see any other animals. So I know you really just want to see this guy again, so I think I didn't go easy enough because I think I won by 8 points or so. But that was Aqualine, so it doesn't take very long. The idea in the rules is even then to switch, and then the other player does the shapes, and then the player who did the shapes does the colors, and it takes about 10-15 minutes per side. He is a champion in everybody's hearts. And I'm very excited that The Mandalorian has come back to Disney Plus. See, Disney can't sue me. I'm advertising for them. Still gonna get like a cease and desist from Disney here. But so it's my Halloween costume. And so that is Aqualine. It retails at only $19.99 as well, and we're gonna have that in store for the next few days, for a week until next Thursday. And we are now starting to do things at 20%. I've probably had some mind powers coming from Baby Yoda, but we're gonna do 20% off of these 2-player games since they're so popular. And if that does well, we'll probably be able to keep up the higher discount going on into the holiday season. Speaking of holiday seasons, we are going to start having some ways for you to make appointments and suggestions online, and you can call numbers for recommendations. Since we can't have the crowds this year, we're asking, just like other small stores, to shop small, shop local, and then also start doing it now. Start doing it early so you can kind of get in, to avoid having to wait in lines to get in as things either get worse or hopefully not stay the same, so we can continue to have customers in store. We'll also still be doing the delivery and the curbside pickup, but we can help you with some of that shopping online. And look for more details on that after Halloween, which is tomorrow. So soon, next week. And to start that off, for these, you can get 20% off for these in-store online curbside pickup. And that has been 2-player games for Friday Features. Thank you for joining us. And before I lose control of my sanity, I'm going to go and hopefully play some games with some real people in the future instead of 190-year-old creatures from far, far away. Thank you very much, and have a wonderful